Hello and welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We are bringing you Transformers news from around the world and across Australia and pretty much around the world. This is episode 241. We are recording live on Saturday, the 10th of July, 2021. This week we will be talking about the big leaks. It's a good thing we delayed our episode till today, because today we had two massive leaks in the Covert Ravage set and the Worlds Collide sets. We'll talk about those. Generation Select Galvatron in toy colors was officially revealed this week on Transformers Tuesday. Netflix's upcoming Transformers Kingdom series is incoming in just a little bit over 3 weeks, and Rise of the Beast is apparently filming already. All that and more is coming up after this. G'day everyone and welcome to the show. We're a little bit down on hosts this week. We think one of our hosts has fallen asleep, but we're not really sure. So we're doing a two-up. I'm Jason. Joining me from right across the country, as far away as he could possibly be from me in Sydney, is Bradley, coming to us from Perth. How are you doing there, Bradley?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you doing?
I am. I'm doing all right. I think it's appropriate at this point to bring in the by this guy for in the last week or so. Actually, the last 2 weeks. So Sydney's in lockdown, which has been it's made life interesting for me. But I say interesting. It's been interesting, but it's not been that interesting. I'm okay. I'm okay. Others are less than okay. I don't leave my block a lot, so yeah. Now I think you've had a lockdown over there as well, and I think he hunted some Autobots and some Decepticons, and then he released his grip on the city. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's very very good.
Very good.
Look, let's not harp on about lockdown so much this week, because we do have
want to put a big picture of him on there.
I know. I said let's not harp on, like there's a point at which you discuss and then you shelve. So we're going to, without hanging too much of a lantern on it, which we already have done, we're going to move on, and we're going to talk. When there are notable things that happened this week, there was a Transformers Tuesday reveal from Hasbro. They didn't spring a Transformers Friday on us, so we'll get into some news. What have you been up to over there, Bradley?
Just streaming on Twitch and scouring the boards again to see if anyone spotted the Kingdom Galvatron. I did hear rumors of Kingdom Galvatron, and also Studio Series Slug was spotted near me today.
Ah, very nice. Is that do you know which store it was at? Was it at a Big
Toy
W
World.
or Toy World? Yeah, Toy World is this mythical beast that we don't have in Sydney for some reason. We seem to have all the other licensees to the Toy World agreement, but I say all, like there's none of them in Sydney. You have to go out to I don't exactly know where, but I know Uncle Pete's tends to get stuff that's in Toy World, but I think they're in Dubbo. I don't know. I've been to Dubbo in years. I'm not going Transformers hunting in Dubbo. It's
Too far public transport, or
I don't think you can even get to, like, it's a different city. I don't think I can get on a train and go to Dubbo. I probably can, like, for regional transport, but I'm not doing that. Especially given, hang on. Wait, let me put it back up. Especially given that this guy is in effect in Sydney at the moment, and I'm not allowed to go more than 10 kilometers. So definitely not. Yeah. So, so we don't have those Toy World stores. We have a few toy mates in Sydney. It's the Australian toy retail scene has always been a bit of a mess since Toys R Us crashed and burned. We tend to have toy mates and toy whatever. I
We've
don't know.
got Toy Mate and Toy World, but we don't have Mr. Pete's Toy World. Is that what it is?
Uncle Pete's, yeah. So he's
Uncle Pete.
Toy World is like a weird conglomerate agreement between a bunch of stores. It's kind of weird. So like in Melbourne, there's Mr. Toy's Toy World as well, but it's still a Toy World. And yeah. Anyway, look, without further ado, let's get into some actual Transformers news. You did mention that you were hoping for a sighting of this guy, the big purple fellow, Galvatron, has been popping up, I'd say, for the last 3 weeks or so around Australia, and we do have a sighting. This is from the Victorian Transformers and Assorted Sightings group. From Brendan Muscat, who pointed out that he spotted Kingdom Galvatron in his local Toy World store. But the big news is that Galvatron finally comes with fixed shoulders in the box. So if you've been holding out on picking up a Galvatron because you've been waiting for the shoulder fix to be enacted, then go for it. So a little hint is that you can see at the top of the shoulder. You can see if you're watching our video, you can see on the top of the shoulder it's fairly smooth on this side of it. If it's misassembled, the lug, the square lug that you see here is well lower than here, and you can line it up with the line on his chest, and you can ascertain whether or not he's been misassembled or not. But if you can look at the top of the shoulder in the box, and if you can see if it's rough and there's exposed parts there, then it's misassembled. Unfortunately, I don't believe they can actually get a price match for the Big W toy sale, which has an absolutely stunning price for Kingdom Leaders of $44. So I think if you were to get the Galvatron with correctly assembled shoulders from Toy World, it's probably going to cost you $95. See how
I have seen there was a sighting for, because in that bigger picture there was what's the name of the Megatron repaint? T-Rex?
Yes, T-Rex, yeah.
Yeah, someone did say that they spotted him at a Toy World near me for 109. No, actually no, it wasn't a Toy World, it was Buzz.
Oh, okay.
You know that place that's associated with EB Games?
Zing.
That's
Zing pop culture.
Yeah.
So I have been hearing that T-Rex has been finding his way out into other stores for. So our retail price for leaders is thought to be $90. Toy World's sort of been pushing some of them upwards, but they seem to have come back down to $90 at the moment, possibly because they're getting first releases of toys finally. But yeah, they'll be $90, $95 to $100. And I think you said Zing was either $100 or $105 for T-Rex. Is that right? $109. It skyrockets even more. So yeah, he's out there. Looking at the photo at the moment. Looking at the photo here, I can see that this store has T-Rex, Galvatron, Ultra Magnus, Inferno, Warpath, and Huffer in plentiful stocks. So they're doing all right. They're doing all right down there in Melbourne. Good on them. A little note with the shoulder assembly on Galvatron. Gene Siebert put a wonderful guide into the TCCA Facebook group showing just how to actually fix the shoulder assembly on Galvatron, and showing where you should be applying pressure, where you should insert things, and how to lever things and apply some pressure to get the joints off there.
Yeah, because there are no screws or anything to undo. It's literally just popping something apart.
Yeah. You need to be careful to apply pressure in the right place, and as you can see in some of the photos of there, if you're going to apply pressure with a spanner or pliers, make sure you put something on the plastic to protect it, so that you don't necessarily leave marks on the plastic, because these toys are made of fairly soft and malleable plastic, which is something that we're taking advantage of to perform the shoulder fix. Or just hang on a couple of weeks and grab one that's been fixed. I don't know.
Oh no, because there are pictures online that show Galvatron side by side. One with the shoulder fixed, one without.
Yes, that's right.
There are plenty of online sources available to you if you want to know. Once you see the picture and the comparisons, the difference is quite apparent. So if you look at it on sort of Google Images or something, that way you know if someone sights a Galvatron, look up the pictures, and then you can go and look at the toy yourself, IRL, and you should be able to spot whether or not it's got the shoulder fix.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good idea. Look, taking a figure apart to this degree is not really everyone's cup of tea. Like I said, there's no screws or anything. There's a pin that you need to pop out, and then you need to pop the pin back in once you've fixed the shoulder assembly. It's not for the faint of heart. If you've got a Galvatron that has 2 misassembled shoulders, you might be perfectly happy with it. The arms sit a little bit lower than they should, but if you're not confident taking it apart, it doesn't really affect too much.
I don't think it affects.
You can make it work.
Transformation or cannon display either, does it?
No, I don't think it does. I think some parts are just slightly out of alignment when he's in cannon mode, because I think the arms are expected to go one way, but they go the other way. But you can, like most modern Transformers, you can rotate the arms almost completely around, so you can flip the shoulder and then rotate the arm around, and so it's sort of all right. But it just looks, it's just you basically are displaying the arm from the wrong side. Whether that really matters to you or not, it's ultimately it's a personal preference, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome toy, but at the same time, this shoulder issue seems to be corrected pretty quick. So it's, maybe wait an extra couple of weeks, and the store, your local store, may have Galvatron with proper assembled shoulders.
Yeah, this was actually quite surprising to see today, because we assumed that all of the stock that had come into the country had come in misassembled, but it's possible that it was really just the first run of shoulders that came off the assembly line that were misassembled. Rob Franklin on YouTube has pointed out it will be interesting to see how many Galvatrons with bad shoulders show up in the aftermarket / eBay sector. It could be quite interesting to see if people decide that because the shoulders are misassembled, they're going to put them up and let them go for cheap, and whether someone who's confident making that shoulder fix might buy them up, fix the shoulders, and then sell them off for more expensive. We'll see how we go.
Or someone could just sell the uncorrected version at a high price and say it's a collector's item.
Yeah, that's possible. I would hope that doesn't happen. But we'll see. Everyone can be quite enterprising these days.
Yeah.
That's the term for it, right? Enterprising. Don't know.
Oh no, well the on PC term is bastard, but yeah.
That's true. So moving on from Galvatron, also out in Australia, actually out last week, but I don't think we necessarily called too much attention to it on the show. Transmutate has been released from, I think EB Games was the main place that was stocking her in Australia. Yep. I believe Amazon took orders for her as well, but I'm not sure whether or not they've actually shipped out. So Transmutate came out in Asia on July 1st. Actually was sitting in EB Games stores in advance of that, but apparently they were not allowed to sell it in advance of July 1st, despite sometimes posting them out maybe a week or so early. We did. Yeah,
I did hear people getting notifications, and then they go to the store and they just say, "We can't actually give it to you."
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. I think it feels to me like EB Games is still really working out how to do this sort of pre-order and release business, and they do a lot of things with like Star Wars Black Series and Marvel Legends, but it seems like they're still sort of getting to grips with the release schedule and how this worked with Transformers. I guess that's also complicated by the fact that Australia's release schedule for Transformers seems to be quite up in the air at the moment. We are getting things turn up at retail well in advance of when they should be. There's we had Studio Series Slug turn up. We had Transmutate turn up. We had Shattered Glass Blur. All of these things turned up early in stores, and from what we hear is that the sightings of these in Australia is actually causing some ripple effects throughout some of the retailers releasing things around Asia as well. There's there's a few issues with release dates of things slipping or moving around, and Amazon has had some early release dates for things that actually correlate with the Asian release, but don't seem to be the correct release date for Australia. So it's a little bit confusing. Amazon Australia has had a couple of things slip this week. They had advertised that Studio Series 86 Rekgar was going to be released on July 5th. July 5th came and went, and nothing happened. So
maybe they meant July 15th.
We'll find. Well, look, we'll find out this week. I believe they sent a lot of emails out to people saying, look, we're still trying to source stock for this, but I feel like that might have been a sort of a default. We missed the release date email that might have gone out with just sort of a template. One other note: we talked about the Jurassic Park set last week, and we noted at the time that we got an absolute killer price for it on Amazon. Suddenly went up to
Jason,
about.
you just cut out big time then.
Yeah, I saw that on the stream. That's fine. We'll set that up. So Amazon Australia's price for the Jurassic Park set went to $150 this week. So if you placed an order at $90, it's not entirely clear what's going to happen. Whether your pre-order will be honoured by Amazon. I've heard some people say that Amazon may not even notice that the price changed, and they might just honor the deals that they had anyway. But it's also possible they might cancel the pre-orders. People have said that Amazon's pre-order price guarantee should actually protect you in this instance, but the pre-order price guarantee does not cover pricing mistakes. So Amazon is well within its rights to cancel those orders. Keep an eye on your inbox if you did order it at $90, and be aware that you may need to reorder it at $150. We'll see how we go. It's a leader class figure plus a new deluxe figure plus the Jurassic Park tax and licensing fees, whatever. $150 doesn't seem out of the ballpark for it. It's a little bit expensive for a leader plus a deluxe, but we'll
Paying
see
for the
what
label.
happens. Yeah. Well, you're paying for the licensing fee that's going over to Universal at this point.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about some news of the week. This guy. Wait, no, not that guy. This guy. This guy was revealed today. We are looking at an image that has come from a store somewhere around Asia, which shows the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy brand on a box that contains two figures: a covert agent Ravage and Decepticons Forever Ravage. Now, the covert agent Ravage is a Beast Wars figure of some kind. We'll get to that in a minute. And the Decepticons Forever Ravage is a G1 Ravage cassette repackaged in this box with his weapons. Now, Bradley, you and I were talking about this before we kicked off the show, and you mentioned that this looks like a Ravage. Was it a Jaguar X9 or a Ravage X9?
Jaguar X9, I think, was the official name for it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you've got that figure there. Do you want to pull it up and see whether or not see what we can see? I'm going to put you up on. It's
definitely different.
Yeah, that is definitely different, but it certainly does appear to be to be the base of the mold, doesn't it? Or at least the base of the character that it's intended to represent. There's definitely some differences in the chest design, but you can see the same colors and some of the same highlights being used in various places. Now, tell us a little bit about X9 in Beast Wars. What was his? What's the significance of this set putting these two figures together?
Alright, do you want to go back to the... Yeah, there we go. So, this is actually G1 Ravage as he appeared in Beast Wars. He appeared in a couple of episodes as a secret Tripredacus agent that was there to help the Maximals apprehend Beast Wars Megatron for crimes against Cybertron, something like that.
Right, so what you're saying is that the Beast figure is actually G1 Ravage.
Yes.
All right.
The character is actually G1 Ravage. He was reformatted after the Autobot Decepticon War, and he also attained true invisibility, as is shown in the cartoon. And yeah, he at first he arrests Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron, and then Beast Wars Megatron reveals that all of this was started by a message that he found from G1 Megatron. So that entices Ravage to join with Beast Wars Megatron, and Ravage has this sort of super stealth attack craft, and as he's about to lay waste to the Maximals, he shouts out "Decepticons forever" in his Russian accent, transforms into a cassette, loads into the ship, and starts playing music. So that's the significance behind Decepticons forever.
And that's the scene that we see represented on the back of the box, where you can see Ravage sort of going through stages of transformation into the cassette. Obviously, you can't really do that with figures at this scale, so they've given you one of each.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, when Ravage transforms in the show, he actually has the G1 transformation sound.
And other characters don't.
No, they don't.
Fair enough too. Now there is one more detailed photo of this set that's come up here. There's been a lot of speculation over what exactly the Beast Ravage mold is. Now we know it's not X9, but it doesn't appear to directly match any existing figure from that era or from any of the exclusive sets that have come out. There is a bit of thought going around that perhaps it's a Kingdom figure that's been retooled to look like its Beast Wars counterpart. There's some people swear that they're looking at pictures that they're looking at parts that give away that it's actually the Beast Wars, the Kingdom Cheetor, with a massive amount of retooling. Whether or not that's true or not, we're probably going to have to wait and find out.
I'm thinking too big for Cheetor, maybe Tigatron, because Tigatron's meant to be a Voyager.
So the part of this that gives me pause in thinking that that's a Voyager figure is the size of the cassette. Yeah, I know. Like missed opportunity for a Late Show reference. It's like a tiger. So look at the size of the G1 cassette there. Now those cassettes are not big, right? I don't think this is anything larger than a deluxe figure.
We know that's a G1 cassette though.
Well, that's a really interesting question as well. Are you saying you think it's possible that that's actually a new mold that looks like the original G1 Ravage but could be larger?
I mean, it's possible. There is, I mean, as you've said, there is nothing to gauge. It doesn't say anything on the box.
Look, you definitely could have something there. I don't know. Actually, that even actually makes another point. Is that even a transforming Ravage, the cassette? Because according to the back of the box, like they've given you. In fact, there's
no conversion numbers on there.
Do either of these guys transform? Perhaps that's another question. It does look like the Beast transforms, but don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I do think that does look like a G1 Ravage cassette there. Like unless it's not actually a G1 Ravage, I think if that's true, then the scale of everything in this photo could be off and called into question. The other things that I would go for would be the sort of the Hasbro logo, the Generations logo, and the 8+ decorations around the box. Plus, it does seem to come with the G1 cassette's weapons.
Yeah, although they could also be, because in Beast Wars, Ravage does have double hand blasters.
Yes, and I think you can see that two of his hand blasters are there in the box as well. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, it looks awesome. I saw a lot of commotion in the Jason Gateway Facebook chat. I think I might have to jump onto that bandwagon because this looks pretty damn tempting.
Look, there's been a lot of initial interest in this from members. I think that what we're looking at here, given that it's got War for Cybertron trilogy branding, but it doesn't have Kingdom or Siege or Earthrise on it, I think we're looking at something that's similar to the Pit of Judgment set from last year.
Yeah.
Now, the Pit of Judgment set was a Hasbro PulseCon exclusive, and we have also seen Hasbro do a Star Wars reveal this week, where they revealed some Star Wars figures that will be coming later this year at PulseCon. So I think we might see this go official in the next couple of weeks, and I think we might see this revealed as a PulseCon exclusive. That's my guess anyway.
And when I'm not familiar with it. When is the actual PulseCon event? Is that October? Or?
I think it's October or September. Yeah. Whether they want to reveal this stuff, far ahead of time, it might be a case that they want to get ahead of leaks. In which case they've already failed because this is a leak. but we'll see.
There has been a retail shop.
I don't think this one is, but I think if we look at the other photos, I think the other photos were pretty. So this is the same setting as the first image there. I think this is pretty clearly a shop. You can see the sort of the masterpiece figures on the shelves in the background. It's a little bit ambiguous as to where the shop is, and I think they probably like it that way. Although I think if there's a particular Hasbro rep that visits this store and sells them stuff, that table is probably pretty distinctive with its red, blue, and white coloring. So we'll see. This is not the first. SDCC or PulseCon exclusive to leak. I say SDCC or PulseCon because we have heard rumors this year of a G.I. Joe set that is said to be an SDCC exclusive but is already in storerooms across Asia. Now, if that's the case, and this appears to be in someone's shop, this is probably in someone's storeroom as well. So I would say that if it's probably the same conditions as that G.I. Joe leak. So yeah, I think we're either looking at SDCC or PulseCon exclusives.
One way or another, I'm looking forward to an official announcement because if we look at the back again, that sort of looks like it does not transform at all because I'm pretty sure. Do I have the box? No. I think the Pit of Judgment had showed the guard transforming in, however many steps. So if these guys transformed...
So the back of the Pit of Judgment was actually just sort of the sketch of the scene from the movie, which is pretty much what this is showing as well, just sort of a sketch of the scene. This is something that will become eminently clear in the next couple of weeks, I think. But like I said, there's been a lot of interest in this. I'm genuinely surprised in the amount of interest that this has raised, and I think it actually says a lot about Beast Wars' popularity that people have seen this and just gone, hell yes, let me get in on that set.
Well, for the last 20 odd years, this has been the closest representation of Beast Wars Ravage. I mean, there was a repaint of Cheetor into Shadow Panther, which people sort of adopted as their toy version of Beast Wars Ravage, but this is sort of the closest we've gotten, and it doesn't really look much like this toy that we're looking at here. Yeah.
Well, so look, I'm sure there will be repercussions and fallout and further leaks of this. So someone obviously has the set in front of them, and sooner or later, the community will get word to that person that they would very much like them to take it out of the box and take some more photos of it, please. Or someone will go into the shop and buy it and do it for us.
Yeah.
We will find out. Rob also points out that Beast Wars Ravage could be a pre-tool of Transmetal Cheetor. So yeah, it's all possible. All cards are on the table at this point. It could be anything. And some random Facebook person says you had Shadow Panther, but this new one is a cartoon accurate version.
Indeed, very much so.
All right, let's move on. We'll talk about the other big leak from today, which is a new set in the buzzworthy Bumblebee line that also, interestingly enough, carries the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy branding. This is called Worlds Collide. Now, this set carries a Voyager and 3 deluxe figures. A couple of them are quite notable. So there is a purple Nemesis Primal. Now, I'm pretty sure Nemesis Primal is a bit of a first. I think this is the first time we've seen the Nemesis branding applied to any of the Beast Wars characters. There is a deluxe Fangry. This guy is a retool of the. Oh, I've noticed a couple of things. This guy is a retool of the Titans Return Grotesque mold that we saw. Would have been three or 4 years ago.
Redone 3 times to represent each of the monster bots.
Was it redone 3 times?
Yeah, it was Twinferno, Grotesque, and Repugnus.
Oh, I didn't realise they were the same mold. Huh.
Same mold, just extensive redoing.
Yeah, fair enough. So they've given him another redo here.
And Jason's gone again.
I should be back now.
Yeah. You want to say something? Make sure you're in sync with your cam.
Hello.
Yep.
Hello. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
All good.
That's all right. Brad will have to edit it. Yeah, there we go. I think something's happening to my internet connection because it gave me a low bandwidth sign. So we'll see what happens. This is the first time we've seen a Titan. Not the first time. It's not the first time we've seen a Titans Return mold reused in the last couple of years. The Punch Counterpunch mold got dragged out for the Galactic Odyssey set last year. Now,
Yep.
moving on left to right, we do see probably the thing that's going to get most people to buy this set is a yellow Bumblebee version of the very, very popular and well-regarded Kingdom Cliffjumper mold. And I say this is probably going to get people to buy this set because the only other representation of Bumblebee that's been done in this mold is the Netflix Bumblebee, which turns into a Volkswagen. This one clearly does not, but he's also extremely hard to find. So if you are after a Bumblebee to sit in your War for Cybertron collection, you are probably going to go for this set if you don't already have one, and you might go for it even if you do. Besides Bumblebee, there's also Black Arachnia, who is coming to us in a toy accurate color configuration. Rob has also pointed out this is an odd grouping of figures. It really is.
Living up to Worlds Collide, I can say that.
I guess that's true. It's definitely worlds colliding. It is an odd grouping of figures. You're right. So, yeah. Whether or not Nathan's also pointed out it's another Bumblebee, still hard to get. Probably, it's very likely. This set, given that the set is being revealed pretty much on the same day as the covert agent Ravage, I feel like this might also be a PulseCon set or a SDCC or PulseCon or something like that. But it's worth noting that we have seen the core class Bumblebee also appear as Buzzworthy Bumblebee with a Transformers War for Cybertron branding, and that's flooding Kmart stores everywhere at the moment. So it's possible this pack will just go out in regular retail release. It's also odd from the perspective of there's so much wasted space in this box. Everything's really spaced out. There's much more space above the figures than there needs to be. I do think the box is possibly tilted away from the camera a little bit, so it's probably not that accurate a representation. But we can see there's a lot of space given to Black Arachnia because of where the spider legs have to go. Bumblebee's rear canopy is just sort of hovering there in the space above his head. And Fangry and Nemesis Primal are just sort of a little bit interesting in how they're sort of close together to the left hand side of the pack. If we take a look at the back, we can get a bit of a look at how Fangry's head has been retooled from Grotesque there, and we can see a better look at Nemesis Primal as well. It's not it's still not really clear where this set comes from. There's been someone saying that they found this set at retail in the US. So maybe we're not actually looking at a convention exclusive. Maybe we are just looking at something set in retail that's been unannounced.
It's weird that people are sort of eyeing off the Bumblebee. I'm more eyeing off the Fangry.
Fangry has definitely been a focal point for people for this set, but I think Bumblebee's always fairly popular, and I think people who are frustrated at being unable to get the Netflix Bumblebee might well go for this one. I think it's also interesting that we're really ignoring Nemesis Primal there as well, because it looks like the price on the paint on Nemesis Primal might well be quite fun as well. Yeah, hang on a second.
Yeah, that actually does look like Nemesis sort of colouring on this mold, and I like the look of it. It also looks like they've gone for like the toy accurate Primal head, which had the full mouth guard closed, whereas this one is going for show accuracy.
Yeah, I see. He's definitely got a bit of a retooled head on him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I quite like the way the colours. I quite like the way the colours hang together on the Nemesis version. I mean,
like I said,
purple and teal and everything. It's always goes nicely together.
They're the colours that we know for a Nemesis, and yeah, like you were saying earlier, I've never heard of a Nemesis Primal before.
Yeah. Also, we should spare a moment and check on Bumblebee, because he's in the buzzworthy Bumblebee line, but he's been served up in a pack with 3 Decepticons.
Is Black Arachnia not a maximal?
Oh, is she? Every other representation of her has been a Decepticon.
Predacon, yeah.
Yeah, Predacon.
Well, maybe if we go back to the first picture, because that had faction logos.
So you can see the faction
Predacon.
logos. Yeah.
He's got the Predacon logo, so yeah, Bumblebee's all by himself.
Yeah, interesting.
Fangry's Decepticon. Nemesis Primal is Predacon. So 2 Predacons, a Decepticon, and an Autobot.
Well, we'll see who they're all hunting by the time they come out. Yeah, worlds collide, and so do all the Decepticons who want to kill the Autobot.
Yep. Is that
also
got something else?
He does. Also notable is that the set does come with a little Allspark, which has a sort of I don't really know what the correct term for is. It's like a dodecahedra hexagonal.
I was going to say it's the old Grundy logo.
You're right. Now there's a deep cut nostalgia reference for everyone watching the podcast who's like under the age of 30.
Yeah.
It does match up with the representation of the Allspark that we see in the Cyberverse cartoon as well. So if you're a Cyberverse fan, then that probably also elevates this set into something that you want to get. Although it's notable that it's not coming with any. Thank you, Nathan, for saying this is dodecahedron. So yeah.
Sorry, Jason,
nice.
You cut out there. You said this set is not coming with, and then you cut out.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that seems to be happening every 10-15 minutes. The set does not come with any. The set does not come with any Cyberverse figures, so it's kind of funny to come with the Cyberverse representation of the Allspark. And there's the thank you to Nathan Ashby for pointing out it's a dodecahedron. I don't actually know if it is. I don't know what the defining characteristics of a dodecahedron are,
and I don't know the Grundy logo.
yeah, it comes with the Grundy logo. Officially, it's Grundy.
You watch Cyberverse, don't you?
I have, yes.
So none of these characters are mentioned or referenced?
Nah. Nemesis Primal, definitely not in Cyberverse. Black Arachnia might be. I mean, we know that that's definitely a Kingdom logo.
Yeah.
I mean that's sorry, not the logo. We know that that's definitely a Kingdom figure. It's definitely Titan's Return figure. So there's no Cyberverse branding on the box. It's Buzzworthy Bumblebee. So yeah. Maybe it's just that this is how Hasbro really wants the Allspark to be seen on everything now.
Maybe they're sort of just trying to bring in different demographics for another use of the term worlds collide. I mean, you got people interested in the Allspark for Cyberverse. You got me interested in Fangry. You've got other people interested in Bumblebee. So it sort of sounds like
I will also point out that
encourage...
the toy colors on Black Arachnia have also garnered a few oohs and ahs from people as well.
Okay, so it's sort of like they're trying to encourage people to buy it and then sort of split it among friends.
Maybe. I think there's been a bit of that going on in some of the chat rooms as well. People are just going like, well, if I buy this, will you buy this from me? And can we work things out that way as well? There was a question saying, what would the estimated price be on this set? No idea, but we are looking at Voyager and 3 Deluxes. So
I'd say triple digits.
Oh, it would definitely be triple digits. Like Deluxes alone would be worth $90 to $100 for 3 of them, possibly a little bit more. Plus a Voyager is about $50, so it could be 120, 150 more.
I'd say
don't underestimate them putting $20 on that Allspark as well.
Yeah, I'd say probably ballpark 150. It also depends, like you said, if this is going to be like an exclusive set or not. That might put the price up a bit more.
Yeah, interesting. As we said, I think there's a good cross section of people coming to this set and going, I like this and I like this. Jacob just commented, "One Nemesis, please. Love those colors." So yeah,
I agree. I also like the look of the monkey mode. I think there's a picture of it on the back.
Yeah. I think that was his. Isn't that his box art or a CG render? Or is that actually how the character looks? You have the character there in front of you.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's just a CG, because the colors on the monkey look like a vibrant purple, and I don't think you could really get that sort of vibrancy on this.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, this guy this guy's also pretty tricky to transform. Not tricky, it's just you really have to use your muscles to pry him apart. So I'm not going to be putting him into monkey mode. Sorry.
Fair enough. I think it's time to move on to the next story, which is definitely a thing that I want to acquire as well, which is Generation selects Galvatron in G1 toy colors. Now, this is something that we heard rumored for quite a while. It's quite interesting. And going back over the last 6 months or so of figure rumors for Kingdom and for Gen Selects for this year, there's definitely been a lot of accurate leaks came out around the start of the year, and this is one that had people pretty excited. We are looking at the Kingdom Galvatron mold itself, pretty well regarded, but served up in nostalgic G1 colors, which means his body is grey and his arms and thighs are a darker purple, and his legs remain grey as well, just like his original G1 toy. I've been looking at pictures of this all week. This figure, I love it.
Did you get stuck on the Digibash we saw a few months ago?
So this, Wednesday. It actually leaked the day before. Did I just drop out again?
Yep.
Yeah. So this actually leaked on Tuesday our time and was officially revealed on Transformers Tuesday. So it came out about 24 hours in advance of its release. So no, I didn't get stuck on the Digibash. Like I saw the official photos that leaked, and just the color scheme. I'm in love with the new foil stickers that have been supplied for him as well, and he does have a rub sign on him as well, but I can't quite see it in. Probably
under the Matrix, is it?
No, that looks like a proper Decepticon logo there. Maybe it's more visible in his canon mode. But yeah, so there's definitely. They didn't necessarily say rub sign, because I don't think that's Hasbro's official term for it. They said it's a heat sensitive thing to reveal his faction. Yeah,
it's just easy to say rub sign, not heat sensitive. It's
much easier, and it sounds slightly dirty for us to just say find his rub sign. So yeah.
Yeah. So the silver stickers, do they come applied, or do you have to apply them? Did
I
they
believe
say?
it comes with a sheet of them in the box, and it's been pointed out that, let me find a better photo. It's been pointed out that this serves two purposes. This mold in these colors, right? It's yes, it's the reference to the G1 toy with the colors and the paint and stuff, but also Galvatron's appearance in the comics, which was very
Yeah.
much based on his in the Marvel comics, which is very much based on his toy appearance. Also carries this color scheme. And if you don't apply the foil stickers, then you've got a comic representation of G1 Galvatron, including the green matrix. Because when Marvel was producing the comic of Transformers the movie, they didn't really know what the matrix was meant to look like, and so the matrix is depicted as a shiny green cube in that. And so taking the matrix, making it look, sort of look like it's glowing green, kind of an homage to that. It is also kind of an homage back to an E-Hobby release of the figure that came with a green matrix as well, but that itself was also a nod back to the Marvel comics. So everything comes back to the comic adaptation and the character's appearance in the comics. And for that reason, I don't have anything else to say. Like I love it. I reckon this looks fantastic. He comes with correctly assembled shoulders. What more could you want?
Isn't the comic version of Galvatron like a lot more brutal and psychotic?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they really amped up his rage.
Yeah.
So yeah, Del Victor says, I hope they are far better quality stickers than Power of the Prime era. This has actually come up a bit this week. The last time Hasbro went for stickers, it wasn't very popular. They weren't very high quality. So hopefully they're not just dusting off the printing press that they used for Power of the Primes. Hopefully they'll be giving us higher quality stickers. In all honesty, like, I was looking at this and I was really hoping that it wouldn't be foil stickers we're looking at. I was hoping that we'd be looking at tamper rafts or anything like that. But I may well just leave the stickers unapplied. We'll see how we go.
The crown sticker looks like it'll be like a bitch to sort of properly align and apply.
Yeah. So let's have a look at that. I think you're right. I think that is a sticker, but it could actually be a purple piece on the crown there as well. I don't know.
Too shiny, I think.
But it's not like the whole thing is shiny. I don't know. Like, let's do this properly.
In.
Zoom in and enhance. Look at that. I reckon.
Oh yeah, 4 stickers.
Yeah. Sorry, it's right in the corner of my screen. There we go. So yeah, okay. So in all honesty, I would, and also zooming in on it really makes it look like Hasbro's not done a great job of applying the stickers themselves. Zooming in on that, I would be more than happy to just not apply those stickers to this. I reckon I like the contrast with the sort of the purple crown as it is.
So would you be left with a purple crown and purple crown?
Yeah, I'm pretty much okay with that. While we're zoomed in on here, like, let's take a bit of. Oh, look at that! One of the stickers is lifting off already. Del, you might be onto something there. The stickers might be a bit shoddy. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, I gotta say, like, zooming in on this has really ruined the stickers for me. Like,
there are actually 2 stickers peeling off on that side. So you got the black one and you got the red one.
Yeah. Like, when you look at it like that, it's fine. But when you look at it really close up, it's just like, oh my god, what's going on there? Look at the stickers on the abs and stuff. Like, nah.
Oh god, he's got stickers on the abs. I didn't know they were stickers too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
nah.
man. The hip skirts look okay.
Yeah, the hip skirts look okay. I mean, like,
Knees
it's pretty hard to mess those up. Yeah.
The knee on the left looks to be a bit high.
Jacob says, good from far and far from good. So that's actually more down to the transformation, right? The knees are set up differently so they can get them.
No, I mean the grey knees, the silver, purple, and orange stickers. The one on the left looks like it's been up a bit. The one on the right looks like the corner. Up the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
corner looks
yeah,
like
you're
it's
right.
peeling off too.
Man, Hasbro, what are you doing? I'm gonna
Now
have to.
keep going.
I can't. I can't. I can't. That's the
No,
bottom
no.
of the photo.
What's that black spot? Oh, okay. That's the end of the. Okay.
That's.
So what's that black spot? Is that a sticker as well, or is that just a?
I don't know. Let's go for a different photo and see what we can see. It's
Okay.
No,
So
I don't think it is. Here we go.
That's not
Here we
a
go.
sticker, I
Ready?
think
We're
it's
gonna
just a
we're gonna
hole.
CSI this shit, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, there's his
Zoom,
hand.
zoom, and enhance. Oh, look, crotch shot for you. There's
Decepticon logo.
Decepticon logo and stickers around the
Right.
around the ankles as well.
There's also another sticker we didn't see on the side from the other shot.
Yeah. Craig Seymour says some intern's kid had a bad morning putting these on.
Have you seen like the magazines that people, professional photographers take photos of the toys for magazines and they don't transform them properly? I think we've got one of those people doing this.
Very,
the
very,
people that
very
can't
possibly.
transform things properly. See, look, there's another sticker we didn't see before.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right. And enough ruining my fun. I still want this figure.
I still think it's good. It's just like you've got in your room right now, you've got your Transformers there, and then you got to have this Galvatron displayed on a shelf on the other side of that wall. And it would look good because, distance sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right. Alrighty, let's move on. Let's move on. There's a couple more stories to look at before we finish up. We have new premium finish figures. Now, the premium finish line is a Takara line that will see 5 months of figures released starting in October. Every month they will release one Studio Series and one War for Cybertron figure with premium paint jobs on there. So higher quality paints, and they say, and it looks like a better representation of these characters as they appeared on screen. Now this month we've got Leader Class Ultra Magnus on the Siege side, and so we're sort of getting a bunch of photographs showing him up here. You can really see that they've amped up the weathering and the battle damage on Ultra Magnus. And his inner robot is no longer white. His inner robot is now grey.
The white paint on his purple chest just looks on his blue combined chest just looks like he's covered in bird shit.
Yeah, that's all.
Sorry,
I find that's often the case with the battle damage. It's interesting to see them go more detailed on it with a larger budget. Yeah, so that you can see there's cracks painted onto his arms as well. I think if you were to bother to put him up next to his representation in a Netflix show, you'll find that this is probably a better representation of his Netflix appearance. But yeah, I think the part that really stands out to me here is the painting of the grills underneath the blue piece there.
Lucky grills.
Yeah, lucky grills.
There's a barge ass reference for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
I look. It's like the fourth.
It's a no from me.
It's like the fourth version of Siege Ultra Magnus. Just it's a no from me. I'm not interested in it at all. There are definitely people who will be. There's definitely people who will be into it. There's been. I think it's interesting. The premium finish line, because it draws from two sources, I think people are quite happy to pick and choose the figures that they get from the line. They don't feel like they need to buy one of everything, and so we've seen a lot of people just going, right, well, I'll get the Optimus Prime, but I don't want to get the Wheeljack that we think is coming later in the line as well.
It's just it's sort of weird because usually when I picture a Transformers toy line being released, I picture them all meaning to sort of be displayed on the shelf together, but these guys are just couldn't really be further apart. Sort of like Worlds Collide.
Wow. Yes, exactly. So the other figure that was announced today. So this should be December's release, October, November, December. So this is month 3 that we're looking at. It is the Transformers 1 Megatron. So it is a Studio Series Megatron repainted with a premium finish. So we've got a bit of a look at him there, and there's his vehicle mode as well.
Is this toy Megatron? Can he put his arms together for a fusion cannon? Do you know?
I would have absolutely no idea. I'm pretty sure this being TF1 Megatron, it's a fairly old it's a fairly old Studio Series figure. I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe it was actually recent. I don't know. Studio Series is not my forte. At least not when it's not Studio Series 86. I'm a little bit in the dark about it. But like it is the Transformers, the TF1 version. Megatron, he does seem to come with some kind of a weapon that he can swing around there as well. Doesn't really look like he swings it. I think it might be fixed in place, but still, the paint job on him looks pretty great. I'm pretty happy with that.
I think that chain thing is meant to represent the one scene where he's asking Sam for the Allspark and he says no, and then he just sort of whips that part of the building off.
Yeah, it does something. Yeah. I mean, it's like it's been 15 years now, almost. Let's go to the next story here though. So there are actually in-hand photographs that have come out as well. So cool. It's one thing to look at CG renders of the figure, but it's another to look at it when it is actually. Nathan also says, I don't think he does come with his fusion cannon.
Okay, and it's just because the only version I had of TF1 Megatron was TF1 Leader Class Megatron, and you could slap his arms together and he made a fusion cannon.
Oh, right, okay.
But it was weird because the fusion cannon was actually on one arm, so you could flip it out, put a gear in, and he would just have like a fusion cannon. So,
fair enough. There's another look at the premium finish from the back there. You can see there's certainly a lot more detail on this. And in actual fact, I will say that as someone who often criticizes the movie figures, especially the early designs, as just sort of a mess of twisted metal, adding the sort of the copper color and the brown onto these figures actually really does bring out some of the detail in them, and it helps you distinguish parts as to what's what.
Is there a close-up of his head sculpt? Because that looks pretty interesting.
There is not.
Okay.
But we can. I mean, we can.
Pretty interesting.
We can try. There you go.
Ooh. Yeah, that actually looks pretty nice. Not enough for me to actually buy it, but it does look like the F1 Megatron.
Yeah. They look as much as the premium finish, as much as the figures that they're applying the premium finish to might not be our cup of tea. They're definitely bringing their A game when it comes to applying the paint to these guys.
Has anyone said in the audience if they're looking particularly forward to this premium Megatron?
No, I think that's perhaps more of a representation, more of a. I suppose it more shows us the interest level that there is in sort of the old Transformers movie figures. I think everyone's very excited about all the upcoming movies from that one scene in the Bumblebee movie, and you know that's the new stuff. That's what we're into now. This is a bit of a throwback. There are definitely people who are into the movie designs, so you know don't discount that there'll be some people who'll be looking forward to purchasing this and putting it on their shelves.
Yeah, definitely looks great, but yeah.
It looks like
the look of the eyes. I don't know if that's not light piping, is it? That's paint.
Pretty sure that's just paint. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Let's take a bit of a look at. We'll change gears a little bit here. We'll take a bit of a look at this photograph here. This photo shows two Porsches outside a building that is as it turns out, in Montreal, in Quebec, Canada. Now, this is said to be a set photo of a photo taken during shooting for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Now, we know from information that's been released in the last couple of weeks that Mirage will be in the movie, and he will be a silver Porsche. And so, so there might be there might well be two of those on the set. In fact, there's probably a few of them on the set because they're probably going to trash a few.
Yep.
I guess the news here is that when Brad put this into the run sheet for us, he did express some surprise that Rise of the Beasts is filming already. I think it's been in production. I think it's been filming some scenes and some pieces for quite some time. We have heard on and off this year that various Transformers things are shooting on sound stages and the like around Canada. So we'll see how it goes.
I'm just surprised this is Mirage and not Jazz.
Well, so we know that they're trying not to step on the things that they've done before with this movie, and they did this with Bumblebee as well. Like they very specifically didn't say whether Bumblebee was a reboot or anything like that, and so Bumblebee didn't contradict anything that happened before. Like all the stuff that happened in Bumblebee with Prime and Bumblebee arriving on Earth in the 80s, none of it contradicts what happened in the 2007 movie. They could well have left Earth and then gone back to Cybertron and then come back to Earth in 2007.
I mean, the sticking point for me with that is that there was no Megatron in Bumblebee.
That's right. There was meant to be, and he was meant to be shown as his G1 form, but similarly captured by Sector 7 and on ice, I believe, or under I think it was the Hoover Dam or something. It was.
Yeah.
So there was meant to be, but I think they thought that was too much of a sort of a retraction on what they've done. So I think the fact that Jazz probably also Del Victus does bring up an excellent point. It says, wasn't Bumblebee in World War II or something in the last night? Yes, let's just look. I'm gonna put myself up to me. I'm just gonna say,
here we go again.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. There we go. We're done.
I think we should I think Brad should put a law in that you're not allowed to do the close up talking anymore.
Well, you can do it. So anyway, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. It's entirely possible that at some point, because when people point these kind of things out, people who make movies do like to set a goal to fix it in the future. So like at some point in Bumblebee 5, Bumblebee will probably time travel and go back and do that in World War II. Like who fucking knows? I don't.
Just cut the cord and tell Michael Bay to fuck off.
So Michael Bay is no longer a producer on this. Now, Bay was a producer on Bumblebee, but no longer involved apparently for Rise of the Bumblebee. Yeah, no longer involved, but yes. Jacob Babick says, any transforming Porsche gets my support, although I wish it was Jazz. To get to the point of where I was going with that, Jazz has already been seen on screen. I think Jazz was pretty obviously coming to Earth for the first time in 2007, so they can't really make this Jazz.
You can buy the toy and call it Jazz, but
you
that's
certainly
what
can.
You're going to get.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. Anyway, Rise of the Beasts is currently in production and is due for release next year. So we'll see how that goes. Let's turn our attention a little bit back to War for Cybertron. The Netflix War for Cybertron Kingdom is released, I think, July 29th, which I think it's so this has happened twice now. Being a Netflix original, I believe it drops at midnight Pacific time in the US, which makes it the same date, July 29th, but about 6 or 7 p.m. for us, based on whether we're in daylight savings time or not.
Yep.
We will seek to confirm that with Netflix, and we'll put a post up detailing the launch time for it. I was planning to host some friends over to watch it at my place, but I don't think I'll be legally allowed to do that because of COVID restrictions, because of lockdown here. I may end up watching this by myself, just like I did Earthrise. We'll see how we go. Maybe some of us can have a bit of a Zoom watch party or something. We'll see how we go. So Netflix has released 2 promotional stills for the series. So there's this one, which probably should have pointed out, it's a little bit spoilery because it does show Megatron with the Matrix. However, we've seen this before because this is, in fact, the spoiler box for Megatron does come with the Matrix attached to this sort of belt that goes around him. And I mean, it's not like they've been very careful to use. Well, I mean, obviously they're using the CAD files, but it's not like Megatron's been very careful to sort of attach it properly and orient it properly. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so there's a few things going on here. One, this is going to make people want that spoiler box Megatron because it's Megatron with the Matrix. That doesn't happen very often. 2, Netflix Soundwave is going to go through a resurgence in popularity because he's right there as well. And 3, oh shit, there's also purple Megatron Beast as well in the same shot, which kind of brings the question of whether or not Beast Megatron is in fact Megatron reformatted or not into question. We had thought that it is a reformatted Megatron, but maybe it's not. And maybe when Megatron gets reformatted, he turns into Galvatron. We'll see. The other image that was released also shows the Autobots and the Autobots and the Maximals. So who have we got here? We got Primal, Rat Trap, Rhinox.
And Tigatron.
Just sneezing there, and I just muted myself so I could sneeze. And Tigatron, yes, thanks.
Is that photo off center or are we zoomed in?
No, the photo is off center. This looks like it might be one of those things where there's like a companion image that sort of shows the flip side of it with the Decepticons on the other side or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think you and I both had that exact same reaction to the trailer as well.
Yeah, the question is, did I just drop out there?
Yes, you did.
So we both had the same reaction to the trailer in that, look, I have to say, of all of the Transformers trailers that I've watched, that is definitely the most recent.
Yeah, I concur.
Yeah. So sticking with that, Netflix did release a 2-minute trailer for the War for Cybertron Kingdom installment that's coming later this month, and so we've got some stills for it up here, but we don't really sort of have to go through and speak to all of the stills. So we do see Megatron holding the Matrix and the Nemesis crash landing. Your thoughts on the trailer, Bradley?
This shot here surprised me actually because I think so we're looking at Astro Train with the other Decepticons, and I think,
wasn't he enormous last time we saw him?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about because he was effing large.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
Nutty wuddy, yori wori, facey wacy. Yeah, so Astro Train was a bit of a surprise. I was hoping at some point we might see the Seekers get their Earth modes, but it looks like that's not going to be happening either.
Do you think maybe they put Astro Train in here because they heard stories of Astro Train clogging store shelves in Maya stores across Australia and decided, well, we need to put him in so that people will buy him?
Didn't they re-release him in Earthrise too?
So he was available in fairly limited numbers in Siege, and so he was repacked at the start of Earthrise, and it's the Earthrise Astro Trains that have been shell forming for the last year and a half.
I had a Siege Astro Train. I must have been one of the few.
They're exactly the same.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Um,
So yeah, no Earth mode seekers, as you pointed out. The one thing that does strike me as we sort of look at some of these stills is we've said this before when discussing the show. It does look great.
yes.
Like the amount of work that goes into the environments, especially like the shot of the Nemesis crashing, like that actually legit looks good. I'm really quite happy with the detail and liking that. But the characters being that they're animated toys, using the CAD models from the toys. I think that really aids their look and makes it look like it's these are scenes that you could make with your own toys. And I think that's always given the series quite a distinctive look. Sometimes the animation cheats a little bit, but by and large those things are just the animated toys running around and doing stuff. I think it's really cool. I actually really like here. Looking at Starscream, like the red on Starscream really pops and contrasts really well with the jungle and the leafy background.
It makes it look like someone could actually take the toys and, I don't know, you're the photography expert, fiddle around with a filter and actually get that exact image just using the toys.
Possible.
Like adjust the brightness or something.
It's probably a little bit more than just adjusting the brightness, but this is the thing, right? Like I feel like when you look at this kind of thing, and when you look at the series and you look at the toys in your hand, I think it does actually inspire. It does inspire some of us to actually pick up toys and pose them to recreate scenes from the cartoon or from what we've just watched, and really sort of encourages people to get a bit of a creative streak going.
I think they learnt from their mistakes in the 80s when how'd they do it? Like the toys were designed from early concept sketches and they were told this is how the character's going to look. They went and made the toy and they were like, hang on, we got to revise this a few more times. I think this time it's like we've had the toy for a little while, so we know how it looks, and the people that made the series know how to make the character look.
I think ultimately, like when you go back to the genesis of Transformers in the 80s, it's because the toys existed long before the media did, and so when you go into the media, they don't necessarily look like the toys, but they look the way that they wanted them to look. I mean, the cartoon was animated the way that it needed to be for the time, and the look of those figures when they've been animated in the cartoon has stuck. It's something that's like it's one of the most recognizable, some of the most recognizable characters in pop culture come out of that cartoon. Like Optimus, Megatron, Soundwave, Starscream. Even people who are not into Transformers recognize these characters because it's so ingrained in our culture. But these days you've got a much more cohesive environment where Hasbro knows what the toys look like well in advance of time, and they can feed those designs to the animators who are going to go hammer for tongs at it for this.
Yeah, but also, do you think when they design the toy, they send like their CGI models to the animators?
They did. It's well known that the at least on the War for Cybertron series, they are using the CAD designs from the toys. Now, that's why they literally look like toys as they're sort of moving around, and you can see that some of them have 5mm ports on them and pegs for attaching weapons and stuff. I think that's possibly less true as you get to more of the Beast Wars characters. You've got Cheetor there, right?
Somewhere around.
Yeah,
actually no. Yeah.
But so this is definitely Cheetor, but I don't think this is entirely his toy CAD file. I think there's a few.
I've got the Netflix Cheetor.
But it's the same mold. In fact, that should look more like what you're looking at on screen. But so you can sort of see where they've taken a few liberties with these designs. And I think the Netflix series, perhaps the on-screen representations of the Kingdom characters and the Beast characters probably doesn't stick to their toy designs quite as much. But you can still see points where it definitely does.
Yeah, one big difference is the crest on the animation model is a lot wider.
Yeah, I think that's something that they've changed a lot on the figures from the CAD designs already, because they need to animate the faces. They need, they need to animate Megatron's lips. There's probably an entire team of animators for those.
Yep.
But also, like, it's the most expressive part of the characters. So you probably will find, they took the CAD designs for the bodies of them, and then they've probably had some animators design the heads for proper animation.
Yeah.
Anyway, in fact, there's a great sort of look at toys that we're going to see. So there's Cheetor and there's Tigatron. Now, Tigatron shares a lot with Cheetor, but we know Tigatron's a Voyager and Cheetor is not. So you can sort of see where some parts of this evolve as it goes up.
Yep.
Yeah. And some of the characters we're more familiar with, Siege, Ratchet, Bumblebee as well. I'm not especially excited for the series. Unfortunately, like Siege and Earthrise have sort of dampened my expectations on it. At this point, it's really just a case of, well, that's going to be how they finish it. Okay. We'll
I think
see
it's
how it
just
goes.
because like the G1 cartoon, most every other cartoon has been made to sell toys, but this one seems to just be made to tell a story. Because
Yeah, whether or not that story is coherent, we'll find out. Anyway,
But
look,
it's just
we're
because-
probably getting ahead of ourselves.
yeah, well, I mean, it's just like like the other series have been a series of 6 episodes with an overarching story, whereas most every other animation is a separate
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. We do see more of Nemesis Prime in the in Kingdom, which does make the Netflix Wave 2 spoiler pack possibly a little bit more desirable for people now that it's harder to get.
I'm lucky I've already got it.
Yeah, I've got it too. It's a good figure. But we will see Optimus go up against Nemesis. Yay, whatever. And yeah, there you go. War for Cybertron and Kingdom. The new trailer is out now. It's about 2 minutes long. Just, you're not going to get those 2 minutes back if you choose to watch it, but sure, why not?
Yeah.
Nathan says, I think seeing all the Beast characters has increased my excitement for it somewhat. You are not alone. You're not alone in this, Nathan. There's a lot of people who are really, really hoping that the addition of all these new characters is going to have this sort of come to some massive crescendo. Also notable, I do have to point out, I quite liked the music in the trailer. I've quite liked the music for Siege and Earthrise as well. Alex Bornstein's done a good job on the music score, so if nothing else, I'm looking forward to getting the Kingdom soundtrack like a week or so after it comes out. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's sort of it's got me scratching my head a bit because obviously it's establishing more that it's not G1 and Beast Wars. These are their own characters and own continuity, because it's got like Megatron and Megatron sort of standing toe to toe, whereas G1 and Beast Wars Megatron very, very different sizes. So,
yeah, that's also very true. The size difference appears to have been nixed for this,
Yeah.
but like you said, it's a different interpretation of the material.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that is going to be it for news, because we are a little bit over time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out there and change my screen to that. Now, Bradley, do you have any new acquisitions that you wanted to talk about to wind up the show?
No, my friend once again has sourced an Ultra Magnus he found as part of the Big W toy sale. He got one for me and one for himself, but I've yet to collect it from him. Looking forward to it. But yeah, I don't have it here with me. How about you? Have you got anything?
I do. I got a box of stuff delivered this week. Now my room is a little bit dark here at the moment, so I'm just going to try and turn on a light to light things up a little bit there, a little bit more there, so that I can properly show.
I don't notice a difference.
Yeah, no, you will.
Okay.
So this guy has turned up here. I'm just going to put myself up large, and so there we are. There is a Kingdom Red Alert. Has
Very
been
nice.
released across Asia and has landed in my living room about a week later. About 50 of them landed.
I was going to say, I think all the Kingdom Red Alerts in Australia are at your place.
You're probably right, because I don't think this figure is actually going to be released in Australia. Having said that, we don't really know. It could well turn up at Toy World next week. We can't really tell. But so I did sort of briefly sort of get out the Siege one to sort of put side by side the Kingdom one. You can see very distinctly, you can sort of see distinctly the different bonnet design. And I think we've also talked about the fact that the Kingdom version has a much more vibrant color palette. Like he's got proper whites and proper reds, whereas the Kingdom one, I think, it really nails the.
He just hiccuped again.
Fair enough. So yeah, I really like having the being able to put these side by side and see the palette on the Kingdom one. It's much brighter and much more vibrant.
It's nice to see that you're getting like a very different figure, even though it's the same mold. But are the eyes different as well?
The head design is slightly different. This is going to be extremely hard to show on my camera, and so I'm just not gonna try. I feel like the War for Cybertron. I think the Siege mold has sort of softer, more rounded features, whereas the Earth mode one, everything's a little bit more pointed and spiky. So both the heads do look very similar, but I think the Earth one has a little bit more definition to his look and to his design. So yeah, look, you're gonna see this start popping up as figures get released to members in the group. That's probably gonna happen in the next week or so. I need to be a little bit careful because I'm in lockdown here in Sydney, and so I can't necessarily make too many trips out to the post office. But I think I've wrapped enough at the moment to make one trip, so I need to sort of space out the times that I leave the house.
Don't you get in touch with Nick and see how he organises the post to come to him, or is that because he's in a rural area?
So you can book pickups, but they cost money. So yeah,
Just up the shipping price.
yeah, I don't want to do that. I like to keep the shipping as cheap as possible. So we'll see what happens. There's a couple of other things because I've got a table full of red alerts. There are some things that I've received that I can't open yet, which includes this guy, the Shattered Glass Blur. As you can see, still sealed in his box. So I will have him open next week, and I'll get him out and do some photos of him. There is also, spoiler for the next episode, there's also a Titan class Ark sitting out in my living room as well.
You don't have it there with you?
No, I haven't opened it. Again, like my table is full of red alerts, so I need to post red alert before I can get these guys out and free them from their packaging. There is one other thing that has actually Dell says carting 40 red alerts to the post office does count as the exercise time you're allotted. That's true. It's true. Yeah. So there is one other thing that I've acquired this week that I want to talk briefly about as well, which is this guy is this guy, which is a Melbourne W class tram that transforms into a robot, and this is made by a Melbourne designer called David Lee. He's advertised it in our group, and a lot of people, as soon as this appeared in our Facebook group, just went, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" I was one of them. So David put his design up for sale on Etsy, and I swooped in there and scooped it up. So this has also arrived, and I'm also yet to open it, but I will be getting this out and paying a lot of attention to its details and its transformation. I really would like to take a lot of photos of this guy. I reckon it's going to be fantastic. I love the idea of seeing a representation of an Australian icon as a transformer, and so yeah, I think it's fantastic. Can't wait to open him up. If you do want more information on it, you can go to the website Transformation, which we'll put it in the show notes. It's transformation, but with an M, because he's a tram. You see, you get it. And so there's it's a very basic website, but you can sort of see the CAD design for the figure there, and you can also click through to the shop, which is actually on Etsy. It's called Melbourne Mecha Works. So yeah, if you too would like to add a transforming W-class tram into your collection, do get onto that website, transformation.com.au. We will be looking to put this guy on display when we are next able to attend events. There's no events coming up in Sydney anytime soon, but I would say you would be able to find this guy on my stand if you come see me at any of the toy fairs, or hopefully we'll be at Doz Comic Con in October. We'll see. I think it's October. We'll see how we go. But do feel free to come find us and come check the guy out in person. I'm like I said, I'm really looking forward to opening up the box and checking him out.
What kind of a box does it come in?
It's fairly it's the box is actually probably a little bit larger than a deluxe box. So yeah, it's all. I'm going to say it's all 3D printed parts. I'm not entirely sure if it's all actually 3D printed. I don't know how all the parts have been produced. It's all been I think produced and hand assembled by David as well. So yeah. Cool. Yeah, looking forward to getting a hold of that. Getting on a bit, so it's probably time to end the show. Little bit of club news. We're not quite ready to roll with membership options this year yet, but we've been finalising some of the designs for things to go into the member boxes. Yeah, we've been finalising some of the items going into the member pack. We hope everyone's going to be happy with it this year, and we'll have some details to announce for that in the next few days. Otherwise, everything's just sort of ticking along in a bit of a holding pattern until then. But I'd say in the next week or so we'll be sending out renewal notices to members. So yeah. I think that's about it. Did we forget anything? Do we have anything else we need to talk about?
No.
No. All right. All good then. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you've been watching along with the live record, and a good deal of you have been, so thank you very much. Thanks for checking it out. You'll find out more about these stories and links to them all in the show notes. You can find us all on Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook. Australian Transformers Weekly is the Facebook home for the podcast. And the podcast also lives at transformersweekly.podbean.com. This is a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. We're a registered club in Victoria run by volunteers donating their time, effort, energy and money, and Saturday nights, while we're in lockdown at least, to make life better for everyone. We want to connect Transformers fans around the country and engage the collecting community to do so. You can find out more information about the benefits of TCCA membership in the next couple of weeks, and you can find out more about us at the website transformerscca.com. You can find me on Twitter at JM77, and you can find Brad.
That's a good time for your internet to have a hiccup.
Did it have a hiccup?
Yeah, you said you can find Brad.
Oh, well, there we go. There you go. See, I've got it on screen. You can find Bradley on Twitch at Groovy Guy Gaming, twitch.tv/Groovy Guy Gaming. And as we found out last week during the record of the show, you can also check out Brad, our other Bradley. He's also hosting the Budget Adventure Show on YouTube. So I'll have links to that in the show notes as well. Bradley, did you want to talk about Groovy Guy Gaming? How's it going?
It's going pretty good. So for those of you that were watching along with the live recording, it did get pushed back once or twice by about 5 or 10 minutes because about the time I was thinking of wrapping up earlier today, I got, I think, a 229 person raid, and so I thought I'd best stick around for a while to show my support and gratitude for this huge support for my channel. It also did garner me, I think, 20 new followers. So at the moment, I don't know if anyone's been keeping track of my follower count. I haven't. So I haven't seen like how much I've been sort of jumping. But at the moment, I'm currently on 1,368. So according
Excellent.
to the Twitch,
As long as the number keeps going up, it's good, right?
yeah, well, I mean, according to Twitch, they're very generous with their rounding. So I'm currently on 1.4k followers.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, that is it for us. Please do check out Bradley's streams. You're streaming every day, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stream every day
Please,
from about...
please do check out Bradley's streams on Twitch.
Yep.
And yeah.
Actually, I've had a couple of people. I had one person show up a couple of weeks ago. They followed my channel, said, "Hey, that's Unicron. He's really awesome." Then he gave me a subscription.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I was like,
You just need to move Unicron more into frame. In fact, maybe just point the camera at Unicron and get him to do some work. I mean, he cost you enough.
Yeah.
It's about time he starts earning some of that money back, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, that is it. That is it for the show. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more next week, including hopefully some thoughts on the Ark and some more up close looks at the project transformation. We'll see how we go. Thanks, everyone, and thanks for watching. Talk to you later.
Bye.